Good, just barely afternoon. It's just afternoon, literally, as I set out here. About 7 degrees, so chill, but not bitterly cold. I'll be warm enough once I keep walking here, just wearing a sweater. And I'm going downtown. I have to pick up some pills at the drugstore, and the second half of this walk I'll start from the Cornwall Centre, but I'm going down to the Hotel Saskatchewan to have lunch, since I had to go downtown anyway, and I want to devote a couple of hours to my own fiction after spending all morning on marketing and PR and publishing stuff. So, because today is the day that my new novel, my 12th novel from Daw Books, The Tangled Stars, comes out. It's a humorous far future space opera featuring an AI uplifted talking cat who becomes a starship captain. It's also a heist novel, so it's all those things rolled into one. And you can find it everywhere in ebook and audiobook. The best URL that points you to the most possible sources is books2read2.com/The Tangled Stars. And that will take you there. They're doing something up here in that empty lot. Looks like it started excavating for whatever's going to be built there. So I think I'll actually cross over to the other side. So it might be dusty on this side. To avoid whatever they're doing there. You can see it's still autumn. The leaves are starting to come off the elms here. They're actually sweeping the street of leaves on Thursday. And then there's going to be a lot more leaves after that, because these aren't all going to be down by Thursday. So that's what always happens around here. And then it'll snow on them, and they'll still be there in the spring, and then they have to be cleaned up. So, oh yeah, they really have done quite a bit of excavation over here. They obviously didn't just start today to be that deep. So, digging a new foundation for a new house, I would assume. Maybe I will cross over there just to get a better look at it. It's a hole in the ground at the moment, but we'll be able to watch it grow over the next few walks, I would guess. So anyway, I was doing that, and then I also put out a new podcast this morning, because that should have come out on Sunday, but I was in Ottawa and couldn't get it done. So a new episode of the World Shapers podcast, where I talk to other science fiction and fantasy authors about the creative process. And today's guest, Alicia Salnikova Gilmore. She was born in Moscow, but raised in the U.S., so she has a Russian name, and she married an American and ended up as Gilmore. So thanks for an interesting name, Alicia Salnikova Gilmore. And her debut novel is a historical fantasy from Ace Books called The Witch and the Tsar. Set in Russia and drawing on Russian folklore. Baba Yaga is a very well-known folkloric character in Russian mythology, I guess you'd say. And this is a book with her as a main character. She's famous for having a chicken-legged hut that moves around in the forest. Hello, whoever just said hello. It's hard to see. Miriam, hello. And as usual, I don't know exactly what path I'll follow walking downtown. It depends on what the lights do for me here. Looks like I might be able to cross right up here without having to wait too long. So maybe this will work out today, which is always a nice change. Yeah, it's been red long enough that I won't have to wait too long for it to change. In fact, it's changing now. But I can just make it. I won't have a walk light, but that doesn't matter. It's still a green light from my direction. There's the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, of course. This is College Avenue, and since I came this way, I will walk down College Avenue to start with. Newly resurfaced, as you can tell from the blackness of the asphalt, or the asphalt, depending on what part of the world you're from. I would say asphalt. Quite a busy street, as you can also see, which is why I'm not going to walk along it very long. I will turn up towards downtown at the first corner up here. It's been a while since I walked over on the other side, but I don't think I'll do that today coming back. I don't think that makes a lot of sense coming from where I'll be coming from. So we will turn up this way today. Besides, I often point out this house from the side. I like this house, but it's not a house. It's offices of some sort now. But at one time it looks like it was a very nice house. See, the trees are more bare. There's still some color around, but a lot of the leaves are down. All the leaves are brown. No, all the trees are brown, not the leaves. And the sky is gray. But actually, this is the Frontier Center for Public Policy, Saskatchewan office. I wrote a book for them about the Grant Devine years. He was former premier. Most of these houses, like that first one I showed, have actually converted to businesses of some sort, which is why this is sometimes called the transition area, as residential structures convert to business structures. And there's also multi-unit dwellings here, where once it would have been mostly single family. So here's an apartment building, or condos, I don't know which. Is that the hostel over there? I think it was. I don't know if it still is. I still think these awnings look like pig snouts, but maybe that's just me. Cross over as soon as this car goes by. Keep working my way up towards Victoria Avenue and the Hotel Saskatchewan. It's only about an 18-minute walk based on previous walks. The second half of this journey today will be a little longer because I'll be starting from a couple of blocks further north, and I might try to stretch that out. It depends on how. Is this the hostel over here? I don't know. The flag's on it, but it's not. No, that's a law firm or something. Anyway, there was an international youth hostel around here. Apartment building. I think it's mostly offices now in there. Also has a pig snout awning on it. This is one of the first big condo developments down here. Way back. At the time we were getting married, this was still quite new, this one. And we bought a condo in a different building by the same developer. But we actually went into this one to see what the quality was, and were impressed. One reason we bought the one we did, which we still have, although we don't live there. We use it a lot, but we don't actually live there. It's kind of like the extension of our house. It's all paid for, so we're just paying condo fees. And it's full of stuff, and it's useful as a second office. And my wife is working from home, she actually worked there and still does occasionally. It's also where I keep a lot of the books for Shadow Paw Press. And it's where I record audiobooks, which is something I'd really like to get back to and do more of. But every day there's a ton of things to do. And the time goes by, and that's very, very time consuming. I mean, even these walks I sometimes skip because I'm feeling too pressured for time, but that's bad, because this is exercise as well as, keeping all of my wonderful 563 at last count subscribers happy. Not that most of those 563 subscribers watch every episode. Very few people watch entire episodes either. The average view length is usually 8 or 9 minutes. So I remind myself of that whenever I feel like I'm repeating myself. That only a few people will notice that it's a repetition. It's more of the older apartment buildings along here. Not a lot of room in the sidewalk here because of the trees. So this tow away sign would be because, well, that might not be because of street sweeping. That actually looks like they're still doing pruning. They've been doing that a lot this year. Getting rid of dead branches before they fall on somebody or cause damage of some sort. Right, well, now we'll go up Lawrence Street. I think I'll cross over though if nobody's coming. Is it sunnier on the other side? Well, maybe it's about the same. Tangerine is a nice restaurant. Kind of a lunch place, not so much a dinner place. And coffee shop, really. Well, let's walk this way, because I never walk this way. I don't believe I've ever walked along this piece of sidewalk. Beside the apartment building on my left, and the back of the condo buildings there. Ooh, Corvette, older one. There's the back of that apartment building, one of the bigger ones. I don't know if it's a senior's place or not. It's hard to be certain of such things. Building down at the end of the alley there is the SGI building. From this direction you can see that it says SGI. Another apartment building there of a particularly uninteresting architectural style, similar to this one over here. They just came out of the underground parking there. Always looking for paths between the buildings. Is there a sidewalk here? No, we'd be walking on the grass. Still, not the end of the world. I think I have come along here once before. I don't think I'll get in trouble for walking on the grass here. For 2 seconds. Another big apartment building there. Older one over there. And the Hotel Saskatchewan is coming into view. That's the SAS Power building over there. Mostly out from under its scaffolding now, but they're still working in front of it. It had major work being done to it most of the time I've been walking here. Okay, just another block or so. The church over there is Blessed Sacrament. through here just for a different approach to things. Assuming I can get through in some reasonable fashion. Yes, there's a gap. I know, it's just a parking lot, but that's the hotel right there, so basically I'm where I'm going. I'm just approaching it from a slightly different direction than usual. So that's the backside of the Hotel Saskatchewan. Up at the top, there's a royal suite, which I've been in, which is very nice. That's where the Queen stayed when she came here, and if King Charles comes, that's where he will stay, I'm sure. It's called, in Saskatoon at the Vesborough, they have a vice-regal suite, it's called, which is, Lieutenant Governor. I don't know if the Lieutenant Governor actually lived there at one point or not, but been in that one too. Stayed in that one because when my wife was president of the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan, the president, and they had the annual meeting there, that's where they put up the president, mainly because it was also big and you could have lots of people in it for receptions and stuff. All right, a different angle on the South Power building there. But here's the entrance to the Hotel Saskatchewan, just around the corner. Well, here if I wanted, but I'm going to go around the corner. So, yeah, I'll stop here, and I'll be back for the second half of this later on. And good afternoon now for sure. It's a bit later on, and I'm getting ready to walk home from downtown. I'm in the Cornwall Centre. Just take a quick look. You're not allowed to film in here, apparently. And then heading home. So I had lunch at the Hotel Saskatchewan. We'll go through the footbridge here. And there you can see the entrance. That's the, they called it the Old City Hall Mall, but it was originally the post office there. And I'm sure that was a bank building originally. And here you can get a look up and down 11th. Yes, 11th Avenue. That's Mosaic Stadium, where the Grey Cup will be held November 20th, right down there at the end. It looks like from here, although it's not a direct path from here to there. And we'll look the other way along 11th here. So I had some pills to pick up at the Shoppers Drug Mart in the Cornwall Centre, and then I got my flu shot while I was there. So I am now ready for flu season. I've walked through here before, but it's been a while. Over here you can see there's a lot of construction work going on the Globe Theatre building. It will be reopening next year, so for this year they are not doing anything in there. This connects to a number of buildings, including the Bank of Montreal building. So you don't necessarily have to go outside to get across to the Cornwall Centre from over here if you work in the right place. And this will take us out onto the Scar Street Pedestrian Mall. And from there, it's the usual walk home. And we're out. And some of the more interesting old buildings are down here, like the Northern Bank from 1906. That building was what that was originally, and some other fairly old ones that have kept their facades more or less. Then you have the newer office towers rising up. Used to call those the Twin Towers. I guess they still are the Twin Towers, but there's now a third of them. But it's not really a twin, that one. It looks a bit different. There are various shops along here. Sandwich store next to a cannabis store. Next to an empty store. Almost empty. I don't know what that is, actually. Fitness. Fat Badger's a pub. Massage therapy clinic. Affordable COVID-19 rapid testing. Well, and if we go over here, we'll see the Fafard sculpture. Hello, whoever just said hello. I have a hard time reading it. Well, that's Kirk from Vancouver. Hi. SB Gaming. Hello. So this is a Joe Fafard sculpture. It's a buffalo made out of buffalo bones. Pile of bones. Looks better in the sunlight on this side. All right, we'll head across Victoria Park. I think. It's the Carillon there that has been repaired recently and plays. That's the Crown Life building. Well, it was the Crown Life. It's now Canada Life, I guess. It was big news when that was built because Crown Life was relocating to Regina from Toronto and brought a lot of new people into town back in the 90s. This over here is City Plaza, I guess they call it. It's where the farmers market is, and the outdoors farmers market is going. And then we have what I like to call the lightsabers at night. That's what they look like. Those upright lamps. And of course this takes us directly to the cenotaph where the Remembrance Day ceremonies will be held in not too distant future. The question is, will there be snow on the ground? It's about 50-50 whether you'll have snow on the ground for Remembrance Day. Last year they certainly was, because that's the day I fell on the ice while walking. You can go back and watch me do it if you really feel like it. It's quite warm now, much warmer than when I walked down before or just after lunch. Picked up several more degrees, I feel like. And there's the cenotaph.
Good for you this morning. Very. Yeah, we go around and then go to the other side.
Most towns in Canada would have these, built right after the First World War. Maybe sometime. I'm not making any promises. It depends on the day and what else I have to do and how far afield I want to go for these, because they take time. I'll keep it in mind. I've been in that area before, but I don't remember when. It's not an area I get to very often. I'll try to remember that and see if I can plan for it someday. It's the Balfour ahead of us. One of my favorite apartment buildings. This is Knox Metropolitan United Church, of course. Well, of course, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not for you, since you don't maybe know that, but we have a nice little kind of a garden here, a bit, not very gardeny right now, frost having hit, but you can walk back in here, as I am now doing. Oh, it looks like this branch is perhaps trying to block the path. If I let that go, it would swack me in the face. Oh, look, it's got berries on it too. Some sort. I may have left the path, and that's why I suddenly found myself fighting. Then there's First Baptist over there. I just want to refocus again to make sure I'm focused on the distance and not up close. Rope concert coming up. It's actually a gym down on this end of the building. Some more concerts coming up now at Dark Hall. Oh, that's good to know. It's the Ceiling and Chamber Series. You should go to one of those. Oh, one of those is over already. There's one coming up. Just a couple of days ago, I was walking by the Canada Revenue headquarters in Ottawa, which is even grimmer looking than this one, since it looks like a medieval castle. Keep the peasants from storming and demanding their tax money back, I guess. And this, of course, is City Hall. Again, of course, to me. Used to work up there on a contract position for a few months. I was working in the communications department up on the 15th of 17 floors, as I recall. 17th floor is where the mayor's office is. I don't know what they're doing up front here. It looks like Sask Power probably doing something. There's the front of City Hall. That is a fountain, but it's not currently fountaining. Courthouse is across from us now, over there. This is the North Canadian Oils building here, at least that's what it used to be called. There's a coffee shop in the bottom called Fresh, which is a pretty good place. Not just a coffee shop, you can have lunch and, real food there too. There's nobody coming, so I'm going to be a little slow crossing, but there's nobody coming the other way, so it's okay. I don't particularly want to walk down Albert Street, so we'll cross over here and walk down this street. At which point we're basically leaving the heart of downtown. So one more look back. Courthouse again over there. This used to be the Salvation Army, but now it's a law firm. Don't know what it's like inside. If there's still an auditorium, or what exactly they did to it. I've never been in it, even when it was not as a law firm and not as the Salvation Army either. Just make sure I'm focused. I'm never entirely sure, and I can't really tell by looking at the little screen here. That was the YMCA, where I used to go to work out on a regular basis, and then it closed, and I haven't worked out on a regular basis since. I sort of replaced weights with walking. And as I've often said, I really should be doing more, trying to do at least a little bit of weights. I have a couple of dumbbells, which I could at least get a little bit of upper body work. And I say that all the time, and then I never do it. That's a new sign. The Nest. Can't quite read it yet. Recruiting physicians, nurses, physiotherapists, optometrists, dentists, chiropractors, massage therapists, lab and rad techs, and other positions. The Nest Health Center. Is that what's has become of the Y? Is it turning into that? I don't know why else there'd be a big sign on it. That sounds like a useful thing for it to be. It has a pool. I don't know what's become of it either, if it's being maintained, if it's still in use, I really don't know. It was very important to people getting, or kids getting swimming lessons. That's where our daughter took swimming lessons, and she went as far as you could go without becoming a lifeguard. We really thought she might become a lifeguard, which would be a great way to make money in the summer, but she never quite got there and never quite had the desire to do it. She didn't want the responsibility, I think, or the risk. But she did go into kinesiology, so she is kind of... There's the number 1 fire hall from a slightly different angle. So I'm more likely to walk in front of it than along this street. I like that house with its kind of stone pillars on it. I think it's still a house. This one, however, is offices. That's probably a seniors type place there, the Horizon, but I'm not 100% sure. It's just what the name sounds like. Again, it's always hard to tell along here if they're still houses or if they're, that looks like a house, but in fact, as you'll see, it has an open sign in it, and it's a studio and spa. That one looks like it's probably a couple of apartments. Open Skies Therapy also looks like a house, but isn't anymore. Or over there, Hallberg and Burke is a very well-known jewelry manufacturer. They made piece of jewelry that ended up with the Queen, so. Well, our daughter went to the YMCA. That was where her daycare was, so right up until she started school, and then she switched to a daycare that was in the school. And was there until she was kind of old enough to, come home on her own. Grade 6 or 7, I think. She stayed with it. Dragon's Den, it was called, because the Tavern Dragons, that was the name of their mascot, was a dragon. But before that, she was at the Y. It was a great place to go for daycare because of all the facilities they had. They could go swimming. They were right downtown if they wanted to walk to the Victoria Park or the library. All sorts of possibilities. So we were glad that we got her there. And even gladder that we got her into Dragon's Den because it was in the school, and the school's a block from our house. So there's First Presbyterian, where we were married 25 years ago, and about a month now, since we celebrated our 25th anniversary in September. I'll have to wait a long time to cross there, so I will go on down this way. I'm hoping something's going to happen to Bodega over there. Somebody's painted the fence. So that's maybe a sign of something. It was brown and now it's gray, so it's not completely abandoned. The sign still says Bodega, but beyond that, I don't know. I always liked that place. It's an old house, and it still looks like an old house, and it's really handy to our house for going to eat. And there's still a chair and table up on top, it looks like, maybe. So the whole thing's been painted. must be doing something. I hope it's either Bodega is returning or somebody else is going in there. Guess I'll find out eventually. There's another one of the old apartment buildings, the Braemar. Over there is Class X Studio, where my daughter danced and then worked. During the pandemic year, she had a job there. She was home doing university from home, I should say. And that's her old dance studio. From about age 5 until she graduated from high school, every year, multiple dance classes. Means I went to a lot of dance recitals. Well, either here or at the next light, I will have to cross over. Maybe at this one, if it changes as I cross, I'll do it from this side then. There we go. Perfect. That's an apartment building there. And this lot has been empty forever. I think there was a gas station there and there'd be quite a bit of cleanup to make use of it again. Maybe that's why it's never sold. There used to be a bowling alley down there. That's not a bowling alley anymore, but things change. In fact, this to me still seems new, but it's not that new anymore. Friend of the family's was in there for a while, and that was several years ago. So I remember watching them build it, though. It was kind of a prefab construction where they had entire apartments basically already built, and they were stacked on top of each other and then joined together. So it went up quite quickly and looked a bit different than your typical construction. And over there is the second Sastel building. The low one is the first. It was still Saskatchewan Government Telephones. And then my wife works in the current one, which is attached to the Cornwall Centre. So when we started, I was very close to her. Except she's up several stories. And did not know I was there. Got my sunglasses on, which is great for the sun, but really hard to see if anything's happening on the screen. I don't think anything else has that I had missed. The sun's getting lower and lower, so it's only 3:20 and the sun is already noticeably low as we move on towards the shortest day of the year, which is now only, 2 months away? Yeah, 2 months away. Shortest day of the year, start of winter officially, but I suspect we will be into it well before that. Weather-wise, I think they usually say meteorological winter kind of starts December 1st, and astronomical or solar winter, or whatever they call it, when the solstice happens, is December 21st. And here, of course, winter lasts until April, sometimes May. You can still be getting snow. There's been snow on Victoria Day weekend, which is the third Sunday in May. And there's been snow as early as Labor Day, for sure, that I can remember. So depending on the year, winter can come very, very early. But this year, we had a really warm fall. It's looking chillier after this week. And there is snow in the forecast, long-range forecast. Hope it doesn't materialize, but I could be taking my first noticeably white walk in about 2 weeks if the long-range forecast holds up. We have had frost, of course. It was late coming, but in fact, last night it frosted again. It's not quite frosting every night, but it has frosted many times now, which is why there are no longer flowers to look at. In some places there are Halloween decorations. I saw one yesterday that I used for my thumbnail, but I haven't seen too much along here yet. And I will go out for a walk on Halloween night with the trick-or-treaters. That was fun last year. Here's the new basement that somebody is digging, or has dug, it looks like. There's Davin School, where my daughter went to school, and where the Dragon's Den daycare I was talking about is. Actually, the woman who ran the Dragon's Den daycare used to live right there in the house that they tore down. The house next to us is coming down too at some point. Don't know when, but there's a sign there. Don't know if they're going to try to do that before winter or leave the house up over the winter or what. A workman of some sort came to our door by accident, said, oh no, he meant to go to the one next door. So he was obviously checking something. Oh, there's some Halloween decorations. We don't do too much, so ours won't be worth looking at. We will put out a jack-o'-lantern, though, we always do. Oh, well, I guess that's Halloween decorations. They don't normally have tombstones in their front yard. There's a jack-o'-lantern already, although not a real one. What's that? Oh, there's still a Unitarian church. It's down on the corner, actually. I don't know if they have, how active it is. I actually walked by it, but I didn't point it out. It started life as Church of Christ Scientist, I think. I don't know what else it has been, but it does say Unitarian Fellowship on it now. Okay, we will stop here. So thank you for walking with me on the second part of the walk. You can go back and watch the first part if you want, or if you're watching this later, I will have joined them together into one walk. And that's it for today. Bye for now.